Hello and welcome. My name is Adil Ishaim, and I'm going to talk about ns3 simulation, some basics. And I'm only going to talk about nodes. Basically, all simulations have nodes. We probably created them using the node container method, where we do create number of nodes, and then we create some nodes. And each time we create a bunch of nodes, we create pointers to node objects. Now, every node object have two important components. Number one is a list of net devices. List of net devices that are a subclass of ns3 : net device. Then number two is a list of applications. And applications simulate applications that run on nodes. And basically, they have access to the net devices, all the net devices, because an application has a pointer to the node that is contained within, and from there we can get pointers to all the net devices. So net devices need to implement two basic functionalities: the MAC layer and the physical layer. In CSMA, which is wired Ethernet, it's very simple. All this MAC and physical layer implementation is in one class. With something wireless like Wi-Fi net device, we have it in separate classes. We have Wi-Fi MAC, an abstract class, and then regular Wi-Fi MAC, which is a subclass. And we have Wi-Fi Phi, physical, for the physical layer, interference and the such, and YANS Wi-Fi Phi. YANS is yet another network simulator, so YANS Wi-Fi Phi. So what happens when you create simulation? Usually you use helpers, and what the helpers do is that they use a set of nodes and create a set of network devices and attach them to each node. And then you use something called the channel helper. And the channel helper uses one channel object for all the nodes within the same broadcast domain. Now, this is a very interesting keyword here, because if you're using Wi-Fi, all the nodes will basically, or like vehicular communication, all the nodes will use one channel object, which is of type YANS Wi-Fi channel. With CSMA devices like Ethernet, you use one channel object for all the nodes that are within the broadcast domain of one another, because if you have another LAN somewhere else that is not directly accessible, then they will use their own channel object. So in ns3 we have something called channel, and as a subclass of channel we have YANS Wi-Fi channel, we have CSMA channel, we have WiMAX OFDMA channel, something like that. We have Spectrum channel, I think that's the one for LTE. But basically I'm going to talk about Wi-Fi, and mostly about Wi-Fi and WAVE, wireless access in vehicular environment, in the future. And so the transmission happens on that channel object. What happens is that all the nodes attach to one channel, and when you want to transmit from one point to another, you go to that channel object and you see all other nodes. If they have a matching address, or if it's broadcast, send them to them all. Now, when we have wireless communication, there is one thing we need to add: mobility, because it needs to know where the nodes are. They need to have an actual position so that it calculates the signal fade, the signal strength, all of that, or whether it can be delivered. If it's too far, the signal will be too weak and it will be detected as too weak. That's all I wanted to talk about here. I'm going to talk more about ns3, particularly vehicular ad hoc networks. I'm going to talk about general tips on ns3. So if you want to follow that, I'll put it in a playlist of its own. So thank you very much for following, and ask any question you need. I'm very willing to help anyone with their ns3 simulation questions. Thank you, and have a good one.